Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right, this is going to be a follow-up reading on the United Healthcare insurance shooting. So we're about, 4 days downrange from the original shooting. This is being recorded on December 7th at about 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Anniversary of the Pearl Harbor attack, of all things. All right, so catching y'all up, CEO for United Healthcare leaves his hotel, is going to the lobby of a different hotel where a conference is being held, and United Healthcare was going to announce tens of billions of dollars profit that they made this year. And as he's walking down the street, he is shot in the back by a masked gunman. Gun jams. Gunman clears a jam, continues shooting at the victim, ensuring that the victim dies at the scene. Bullets are found with the words delay, defend, deny. At the crime scene, the fellow crosses the street, runs down an alleyway, jumps onto an electric bike, goes into Central Park, where the police and video cameras basically lose sight of him. Police did scan the park and sweep through it, and they found his backpack. There are pictures purportedly of the shooter at a youth hostel that he stayed at that has him with his baklava down, so you can see a profile picture of his face. It does look similar to the scans that they got from some high resolution cameras along the way to the crime scene. Police feel that he got on a bus that originated from Atlanta and ended up in New York, but there's several stops, so they don't know where he got on. They did show him, they could follow him on cameras going to a bus stop but never leaving the bus stop, so they feel he got onto a bus and left town. They have now upped the reward from $10,000 to $50,000. That might shake out a few clues. And that's pretty much it. Interestingly, the internet response hasn't been overly condemning of the shooter. There are a lot of people very frustrated with healthcare, the cost of healthcare, the greed that goes with it, and United Healthcare led the way of the major health carriers of denying claims. And under this guy's watch, I believe it was his watch, but they instituted AI to help speed up the denials of those claims. So there's a lot of pushback there. I saw an interesting TikTok where one guy was comparing this event to the French Revolution, and that one of the concerns or complaints of the revolutionaries was that wealthy people held poor people's health in like a chokehold, basically holding health care or preventing health care for people. And people don't like that. Go figure. So, my condolences to his family. But I understand the anger and the frustration. It's kind of a symbolic killing, if you will, of in some ways it's a warning shot for the oligarchs in this country, that there's a lot of anger festering there, and trying to force your new world order on people is going to lead to a similar situation of the French Revolution. A revolution which to this day is ongoing because it never ended. They may not be guillotining many people, but just throwing that out there. But let's take a look at the current energy around this murder case here, and where the police are, and will they be apprehending him. When I first did this reading, it did not look like they were going to apprehend him quickly. They were going to devote a lot of resources to it because, a really wealthy person died. So you can't be killing rich people. You can only be killing poor people. So wealthy person died. They're going to be very thorough, throw a lot of resources at it, and we'll see where they go from there. All right, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's see what the cards say and see what insight we can get on this murder in New York of the United Healthcare president. My deck, is not upside down, or is it? All right, I've got some cards that are upside down. Why are these cards upside down here? Okay, we can isolate where the cards are upside down, make them right side up. Sorry, I don't do reversals. I read reversals depending on people's energy. And when people say, well, David, you're biased against Donald Trump. Well, yeah, because he's a low vibrational person. So I wouldn't read this as a positive card. I don't read many positive cards for him. Just saying. Because I'm a Marxist. Current situation is the Ten of Wands. I think I had this before. It's a hard burden. There's a lot of heavy lifting going on here. I don't know if this is necessarily... it could be that shooter... was going through hard times. I'm thinking more of the investigation. The investigation is slow, hard going. Oh, Emperor may not be that. Oh, yeah, it's kind of that. When the peasants are struggling, they rebel against the Emperor. That's kind of what So this might be one of those layered readings here. I'm going to read this as in a French Revolution. I'll come back and do it as a police investigation, just to show you what I mean. And the planning, that's actions that are going to be taken ahead when the peasants are struggling and they're mad at the king. In the past, you look at the Knight of Coins, the king's wealthy, the court's wealthy, let them eat cake, all that, while people are struggling. So, they want to bring them down. We're going to bring things to an end here. Bring an end to the monarchy, and we're going to drag you down into our world of struggle. Overarching energy is the Page of Swords. It's a new revolution, just taking off. And we will take matters into our own hands, even if we don't quite know what we're doing. We got something sharp, and we know which end of the sword to stand behind. Lesson to be learned, revolutions. That's the great card for revolutions. A lot of anger, a lot of fighting, a lot of squabbling. And the outcome of the French Revolution, bringing down, it's like wealth equality is out of balance and needs to be brought back into balance. And also, when does it end? An infinite sign. It's infinite. It's ongoing. When is enough? French Revolution reading into this. Looking at the investigation, it's hard going. But, the police are larger in charge and they're going to be looking at it. It's a wealthy man that was killed. And there are clues that they have found from a water bottle that had a thumbprint or a fingerprint, but the fingerprint was smudged, and potentially DNA off of the mouth of the water bottle. They've got a phone that was discarded. That could be worth something. They have a backpack. Maybe they can get some DNA off of that. They have some potential pictures. They're gathering the evidence. Current situation is the World card. Wow. Okay, so this could be the World card is bringing something to an end. This could be that, especially if they get the DNA evidence, that they can identify the young man that did this and make an arrest, or the person that did this may no longer be in the United States. That is an entire possibility. And you know what country, and I don't know if New York has a death penalty or not, but you know which country doesn't extradite criminals if the criminal is going to face the death penalty? France. Just throwing that out there. Overarching energy is the Page of Swords. Young person made some, I think, again, and this card came up the last time because I had the full Swords family out there. I think this person made some rookie mistakes, like the water bottle with the DNA and stuff like that. But they did a lot of things right, too. Is it enough to get a case conviction? It may not be enough. And that's what I got the first time. They may not have enough for a conviction. This guy could have fled them. And they may never get like a positive ID. They may never get the weapon. They just have to go off DNA evidence. And there could be an argument made that the DNA was his, but he has a reasonable explanation why it would be in that garbage can. Just saying. The lesson to be learned is the Five of Wands. People are angry. There's a lot of energy in here. But this is about the investigation. The police are putting a lot of effort into this investigation. Because you had a wealthy person be killed. And we can't be having wealthy people be killed. Just like when you rip off wealthy people, then the law comes after you. If George Santos hadn't ripped off Republican donors, he'd still be in Congress. No, do a Ponzi scheme, that's great until you rip off wealthy people. Then all of a sudden the law pays attention and throws some bodies at it. Otherwise, they don't have the resources. There's a lot of energy being put into this because a lot of people want answers. Wealthy people want answers to this. The outcome is the Two of Coins. Looking at the evidence that they need, looking at the evidence that they have. And then we've got, again, rough waters or overseas. I don't think they have gathered enough evidence, and the evidence they've gathered wouldn't be enough for a conviction if this guy has a decent lawyer. I don't think they've looked through all the evidence. Again, I do believe, off of my original reading, and I still see it here, that they will probably know who did it, but they won't be able to prove it. The energy still is in that camp. As far as motives, it's, in that first video I talked about, it could be a disgruntled person who got denied health care, or somebody in their family got denied health care. It could be murder for hire by his wife for insurance money, even though he's worth millions of dollars himself. The police will interview her. I mean, that's just doing your job. It's probably it could probably be offensive to the wife, but the police have to eliminate the other possibilities because that will be brought up in trial. So you need to investigate that and eliminate that as a source of a potential somebody who has a motive for doing it. You got to get rid of those things and box the defendant in as best you can. Let's look. I just want to look again. Motive of the shooter. Why did the shooter gun this guy down? Nine of Wands. It was part of a plan, and he planned it out and acted on that plan. I told you this guy was a killer. He keeps his emotions in check. He plans. He does not act rashly. He planned this whole thing out cold as ice. No, he's the type of guy that could do this and keep his... This wasn't a passion killing. This was... Well, it was cold-blooded killing. Shot the guy in the back. Overarching energy, or the main clarifier underneath the plan's King of Cups. I don't think it's emotional immaturity. It could be a father figure. It could be related to a father figure of theirs, or if this guy's a father or child of them. But, got the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups here. And the Knight of Cups. We're just missing the page here. And there's the Fool card. Why did he do it? He had a plan. It's almost like beginning a new life. It's just... all these cups here, all these emotions underneath. It's like a family thing. Something happened with his family. He could be the father of a child that got denied coverage. There's something. It's family related. It could be friends, but why did he do it? As part of a plan. There's a lot of emotion underneath this plan, but he controls his emotions. The Fool card. It's a new journey. Just like you had the World card over here. The Fool card's a new journey. Maybe a foolish thing to do, certainly. But it's almost as if this guy, he's trained to take people out, and he took his training in this event. It's not really giving me a motive that I can see. It's telling me more that this guy does have strong feelings and strong passions. He can control those feelings and passions and, act on them in an emotionless way. Him shooting that guy was no different than going to the store, planning a date with your wife. We're going to get dressed. We're going to go out for dinner. We're going to make the dinner reservations. We're going to catch a movie afterwards. We're going to go to this little coffee shop and have dessert, and we're going to come back. It's just like this is what you do in the order you do it in. Bada bing, bada boom. Things are done. I'm sorry, I'm not coming up with a good analogy on this one, but he could do stuff like that, and it doesn't bother him. He likely has. I'm speculating. Probably has, again, some military or spy training on how to kill somebody. If you watched, I gave you a pop culture reference here. If you had watched the reboot of James Bond with Daniel Craig, and they did Casino Royale, the opening scene, he makes a comment. The guy he's about to shoot, says, the first one's the hardest, and Daniel Craig responds, "Oh yeah, I know." And it's like, this isn't my first one, and kills the guy. Yeah, it gets easier. And, it's just kind of how Daniel Craig the James Bond character can just assassinate somebody. It's like an assassination. He had a job to do, and he did it. It doesn't look like the police are going to get him anytime soon. They may make an arrest. But they may not have enough, make an arrest to get him to confess. But I suspect this guy has already got alibis set up, things ready to go, that if he's ever arrested, they're not going to be able to successfully prosecute this case. Not at this time. Obviously there's free will, so things can change over time. But right now, they don't have everything they need to get this guy. Okay? We'll leave it there. Kind of like the French Revolution there. That's what I was going to do. I was also going to make a comparison to that last part of the French Revolution. The Knight of Wands, taking it out, systematically wiping out the elites in France. And there was all sorts of passion underneath it. King of Cups, Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups. Driven by passion. Driven by emotions. And for them, Queen of Cups, it was the emotion blowing off the cup. And the Fool card is bringing a new age into France. Really changing the monarchy and for people to express their anger. Again, paralleling what we're seeing here. I'm not saying this is the French Revolution 2.0 in the United States, but it's running on a parallel track. And we'll see what happens with it. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.